Hey friends, welcome back to another Pick a Card reading. Today's reading is all about answering the question, what unique gifts and skills can you monetize? This reading is going to help you identify your most unique gifts, skills, and talents that you can turn into a career or monetize. If you would like to explore my podcast or my online shop, check out the links in my description. And if you are new to Pick a Card readings, here's how it works. The first thing that you're going to do here is you are going to pick the pile or the crystal that you are the most intuitively drawn to. So we have pile 1 here with Malachite. We have pile 2 here with Rose Quartz. We have pile 3 here with Carnelian. And then we have pile 4 here with Lepidolite. You can choose one pile, you can choose more than one pile, or you can choose all of them. It is totally up to you. But when you are ready, go to the description of this video and find the timestamp that is linked to your pile so that you can go ahead and skip to your reading. Thank you so much for letting me read for you, and I will see you on the inside. Hey pile 1, welcome in, and let's dive into your reading, all about what your unique skills or gifts are that you can monetize. So the first card that we have here is the Ace of Wands. And so this can talk about things like having this raw creative energy. It can talk about things like initiative, things like passion, maybe a drive to start something new. It can also represent things like fresh ideas, leadership, the ability to ignite excitement in other people. And we also have the communicator here, and this one says Mercury. And the affirmation says, words have power. And we have a bunch of different descriptors here that I believe describe your strengths or your natural talents. And so pile 1, you are truthful, outspoken, flexible, clear, quick, relatable, friendly, intelligent, open-minded, intuitive, psychological, discriminating, informed, and articulate. Ooh, I keep hearing like mastery of words. Maybe that is a core strength or a talent of yours, pile 1, written or spoken or digital. I just think that you're able to explain and persuade and teach and inspire through things like storytelling or branding or idea sharing. So with this, I feel like some key strengths that you can monetize are, and by no means is this list exhaustive, pile 1. So if you don't hear something that you're into on this list and there's something specific that your heart has been calling you to, trust that. This is just meant to be fun, playful, and give you a bunch of ideas. So in terms of some key strengths that you can monetize based on the Ace of Wands and the communicator with this Mercury energy here, I think that one thing that comes to mind is public speaking and persuasion. Pile 1, you have this power to captivate an audience, whether this is through, doing keynote presentations or workshops or TED Talks, right? Or those types of things. I also think that you are really talented with creative problem solving. So you don't just communicate, you think outside of the box, and you know how to present ideas in a fresh way, right? So I also think that maybe like teaching or coaching could be something that's great for you. I think that you naturally explain concepts and motivate people and help them to understand complex ideas. Another thing here is content creation and marketing. So I think that with these skills, you can also be very talented with crafting compelling stories or ads or blogs or podcasts or videos, right? Things that engage people, right? Things that maybe like sell. So in terms of how you can monetize these gifts in real life, maybe some of you out here are going to be public speakers or workshop leaders. Maybe some of you here are going to host paid workshops or webinars or, live events on topics like how to turn ideas into action, right? Like creativity coaching or, personal branding and storytelling for entrepreneurs, right? Or teaching communication skills for leadership and sales. So for example, maybe some of you here get booked for corporate trainings or online events, right? You make you make whatever you want to set in terms of your amount, your payment amount, right, per session. So sky's the limit here, pile 1. For those of you who are more interested in content marketing or being like a brand storyteller, there are companies that pay thousands for, compelling brand messaging, website copy, email funnels, and social media content. So I feel like many of you here could be very talented with writing sales pages or blogs or ad copy for brands. I think that many of you here would be talented with helping businesses craft their messaging, right? Maybe some of you out here would be really talented with brand consulting. I also feel like some of you here could create storytelling strategies for social media. So for example, maybe you'll freelance on platforms like Upwork or Fiverr or LinkedIn, right? And maybe you set your pay at like $100 per project, or, plus, or whatever it is that resonates with you. I just think that you're going to be starting to be able to like earn from your creativity on your own terms. Another thing that I think about here too is being like a course creator or an online educator. So I think that you can turn your knowledge into passive income by creating things like video courses, right? Like on things like, what was that? Like Teachable or Kajabi, right? Or those types of things, right? Maybe some of you here will teach other people about branding or content creation or public speaking, right? Because this is something that you're so strong in. Or maybe something else, right? Maybe another topic. Another thing I'm feeling here too is like membership communities where people pay you monthly for access to your insights, right? Like I am a Patreon member for a gal that teaches a lot about spirituality, and she has a wealth of knowledge, and yeah, I'm subscribed to her every month, and I get to learn a bunch of things that I don't get to learn in other spaces. So that could be very lucrative for some of you here too. I also feel like podcasting or being on YouTube would be a big thing for you guys too. So monetizing content, right? Building an audience around your ideas or your expertise through a podcast or a YouTube channel, right? Something that allows you to communicate and be creative or dive into that personal development, right? I also think that monetization will come through sponsorships or ads or affiliate marketing, right? So maybe some of you make between like $500 to $5,000 a month from views and sponsorships and affiliate partnerships, right? Sky's the limit there too, pal one. So I definitely feel like don't cap yourself or limit yourself on how much you can earn if you're going to be diving into like content creation. So let's keep going in the reading. We also have the 7 of Wands in reverse. And so this can represent feeling overwhelmed or doubting your worth, maybe even struggling to assert yourself in a competitive space. I think some of you here might be second guessing whether you can charge those high prices and compete with like bigger names, right? We also have Druid. This one says hold the space. So I do think that this is you creating a safe container for growth, whether this is in coaching or business or creative work. I do think that you're meant to be a leader, a mentor, and a guide rather than constantly fighting for recognition. So I do feel like mentorship and like holding the space for growth is going to be something that you can monetize, pile one. So I feel like people are going to want to pay you for deep transformational guidance, right? Whether this is through coaching or consulting, or, maybe you represent somebody in some way in business, right? I also feel like you are really, really talented at curating and facilitating spaces. So instead of like hustling alone, maybe you can build like a community or a network where people pay for access. I also feel like your resilience and your long-term strategy is something that's gonna help you in the long run. Yeah, I feel like Pao Wen, with your energy, it's just so magnetic. Like you don't have to compete, and I feel like instead you know how to build something sustainable. So yeah, just a couple examples, like for those of you who whose ears perked up when I spoke about coaching or consulting. I wonder if some of you here would be really good like high ticket coaches or consultants, right? So instead of like charging per hour, maybe you offer like structured programs, right? So maybe you have like a 6-week brand storytelling mentorship for business owners. That's just one example, right? And you charge like $1,500 plus. This is all just examples, right? Some of you are like, whoa, that's a lot of money. And some of you are like, that's not enough, right? It's all relative. So maybe some of you here do like a 3-month package with people, right? Maybe some of you are like fitness coaches or personal trainers or like those things, right? I just feel like you are going to be really good at positioning yourself as an expert in some way and I really do think that you're going to be able to charge the rates that you want to charge. Now, for those of you who are interested in like maybe creating like a paid membership or some sort of like community model, right? So something that allows people to pay monthly to access your insights or your coaching or your resources, right? Maybe some of you here want to create a Patreon or some sort of private membership group, right? This might work for you YouTubers out there too, right? Maybe some of you here build up a mastermind, right? Some sort of like creative competence mastermind, and you have exclusive content, you have, you know, private coaching in there. I'm just thinking about like the word recurring revenue, you know? I also feel like for some of you here, if you are interested in holding these like VIP intensives or retreats, so instead of like hourly work, maybe some of you here want to host like a deep dive 1-day workshop or a retreat, right? On, let's just keep going with the topic of like branding and marketing, because that's just what we're talking about, but apply it to whatever resonates with your, you know, interest or your creative pursuits. But say you do like a 1-day retreat in, I don't know, or 1 day could be tricky out of the country. Like I was gonna say a 1-day retreat in Portugal. Maybe like a 4-day retreat in Portugal where, you know, it's like this creative brainstorming intensive with like you and like a select, you know, few who like, and I'm talking about like high net worth individuals, and you know, you guide them through what it's like to get more clarity for their brand, right? Or how to be a better storyteller as an entrepreneur. Those are just a couple examples. But with all of this, I also want to dive into maybe like what industry or what niche could potentially fit you. And now remember, don't pigeonhole yourself. If you are multifaceted, if you are multi-creative, if you don't like just doing one thing, please don't stop yourself from like doing more than one thing. Again, this list is not exhaustive. I just like to give some ideas. So we have the 9 of Cups in reverse here. And so with this, I feel like for some of you here, maybe you're feeling like you've achieved success before, but maybe for some of you it didn't feel fulfilling, right? So I wonder if this time you're seeking deeper meaning or, you know, purpose or more alignment when it comes to like the work that you do. We also have First Light. This one says beginning a new cycle. So with this one, I do feel like you're stepping into a new chapter. I feel like maybe some of you are, you know, possibly shifting careers or evolving your brand or your business in some way. In terms of like advice or next steps, we have the Knight of Wands. And so this can talk about things like creativity and passion and ambition and taking action. So I think that whatever it is that lights you up, pile 1, right? Whatever it is that gets that creative spark going, it's time to take some sort of action on it, right? It's time to move out of your comfort zone in some way, right? Like it's time to almost like, what do they go? Like, it's time to be like forged in the fire in a sense, right? It's time to maybe take a risk. So some of you here might be traveling too. I wonder if travel will be part of this, like what really gets you going in terms of putting yourself out there creatively in some way. Yeah. We also have financial flow. So I feel like you are going to be on the receiving end of a lot more abundance than you could have ever expected. You know what I mean? Like you're going to be like, whoa, like I could actually get paid for that. Like that's crazy. Like that comes pretty easy to me. And sometimes like we doubt the things that come easy to us because they're natural to us, but like not everybody has the talent that you have. Not everybody can do exactly what you can do, right? Not everybody's wired differently and people have different brains. And so pile 1, you have to know that what you bring to the table is valuable and know that you can create this abundance, but you need consistency and discipline and, you know, the continuous taking of action to sustain this. So, you know, in terms of any potential challenges or how to overcome that, you know, for those of you who have been feeling a little bit creatively burnt out or maybe a little overwhelmed, like maybe for some of you here, you get excited about so many different ideas, but maybe it's tough to like finish them, right? And so the solution here is to focus on one project at a time, right? Create your impact one project at a time. For those of you who are feeling some emotional blocks or some doubt come up, maybe this is the fear of failure or feeling unworthy, right? And this is the things that kind of like muddy up the water and it slows us down. The solution is to start doing some start doing some self-worth work. Although yes, you want to do self-care as well, but it's time to start working on self-worth, because you've got to know your value. You got to know what you bring to the table so that you start charging what's appropriate for you, and then you need to be able to trust your expertise, right? Now, for some of you here, I don't know if, you feel a little bit distracted or you're feeling like a lack of focus in some way. Just know that sometimes when we chase multiple projects, we don't always commit fully to one. And so again, I think the solution here is to stick to a clear plan and execute it, right? So yeah, in terms of like the next steps to monetize your gifts, I would say refine what you really want to be creating in this world. I know that there's so many different things, right? Like this person's looking up and they're like, oh my gosh, like they're, I could be exploring or painting or writing or reading, or, there's so many different things I could be doing. So it's time to like refine that one thing that you want to work on next, right? What's that one thing that you want to bring to completion next? And commit to completion, right? Pick one major project and finish that within the next, like give yourself a time frame, 90 days. And not give yourself a time frame to put pressure on yourself or to stress yourself out, but it helps. It helps to actually manifest all those ideas swirling like around inside. It helps to help manifest that into the physical world, right? Helps to make it 3D. So yes, some of you here, I again feel called again to say, stop underpricing. You are valuable. You have valuable knowledge that people will pay for. So remember, know your worth, stand on that, and start, recognizing that you have expertise that other people don't have. And another thing here too is maybe build a financial plan, or maybe align your creative work with consistent income streams, right? Maybe you start to think about retainers or memberships or, high ticket services, whatever it is, right? I'm just talking about specific things if, you're interested in the consulting or the coaching or the guiding in some way. But yeah, just pile one, know that your gift is that you have this creative vision. You're very powerful, right? In terms of communication. There are so many different skills that you could probably monetize, but with this reading here, it looks like you can monetize things like speaking, coaching, content creation, brand storytelling, community building, right? And remember, challenges and emotional blockages, they come up. We're human. It's a normal thing that comes up. So just know how to notice that when it comes up, right? So for example, like say you're feeling emotionally distracted, or maybe you feel like you have this like lack of follow through with certain things, right? Because there's just so many things going on. Just remind yourself to go back to clarity and remind yourself to keep following through, to keep taking action, right? Because that's what's going to lead you to that financial flow. And it's beautiful here, pile one, because you're going to be able to both help and heal others, but then also get that equal energy exchange and, get paid your worth as well. So focus, execute, build that financial stability through having some sort of structure, pile one. It will pay off. Let's roll some number dice to get any important numbers from our angel numbers book. Okay, so we have 2 and 5, or 25, or 52. So we'll look at all of those numbers in just a second. So this is the Angel Numbers book by Mystic Michaela. I'll have it linked for you in the description if you feel called. So let's look at the number 2 first and see what messages we have for pile 1. Okay, it says trust. You build your life with gratitude. It's not just the big things you can hope for, it's also the little things which keep everything together. You are never alone, and your angels are reminding you that so many small things together create a miraculous and cumulative outcome. Create a list of what you are grateful for today. Wow, interesting. This also makes me think that you could do like manifestation through gratitude scripting, right? So it's like, I am so happy and grateful that I have my dream job working in broadcast journalism, and I have that 5-bedroom home. Like, you know what I mean? You start scripting it out as though it as if it already happened, and you start kind of like I guess you're just like generating the feelings of like gratitude, and gratitude is something that's so magnetic for more abundance to flow in. So that. We also have the number 5. So this one says growth. The only thing that stays the same is change. As the world around you shifts and moves, it's time to get flexible. Change is inevitable, and your peace comes not from the stability of things outside you, but also from that which is created from your foundation within. Your angels remind you to make inner peace a priority. So you know that you're tethered to something it cannot touch. Meditate today with a visualization of your inner peace tying you firmly to the universe. Wow. So I think that when we're evolving, sorry about like all the baby yelling in the background. My littlest, I'm a mom, and my littlest has just found his voice, so he's having fun with it. But yeah, dad and kids are having fun. I always like to mention too on my channel, it's like if you hear like any sort of like happy children noises in the background, those are just my kids. And for all of you who have been with me since the beginning here, you're probably used to that. So yeah. Okay, so 5, and then we also have 25. Let's look at 25. So this one says major decision. You already know what to do. Your soul is calling out for a change, and you will have to make a choice as to how to go about that. Have confidence in your heart. You already know the answer. Repeat this mantra. I will make the right decisions at the right time. Interesting. You already know what to do. So I wonder if there's some part of you, Pile 1, that kind of like already knows what to do or what you want to do, right? Maybe you just have to give yourself like permission to take a chance on that. And then I also want to look at 52. Okay, fine tuning, hone your skills. You are being called not to just pass on certain skills, but also to really focus on them and make them the best they can be. An interest you have is calling for more attention. Acknowledge this and create a plan for furthering your own education on the matter. Interesting. So again, I feel like you have so many different skills, right? And so it's about fine tuning. It's about kind of honing in on what's that one skill that you want to like develop or strengthen, and take it from there. And then you can always move on to the next skill when you're done with that. But what is that one thing that you really want to fine tune? What's that thing that like you're good at, or maybe you're sort of good at and you like really want to fine tune it? I would say hone in, focus, execute, right? Build your strategy, Pile 1. Build that strategy. Okay, and then one other thing I want to do here is I want to roll some astro dice. So Pile 1, what else can you tell us about their unique skills that they can monetize? Okay, so we have let's see, we have Mercury and Capricorn in the 5th house. Mercury and Capricorn in the 5th house. I love this Pile 1 because it's exactly what we were talking about with that Mercury energy before. With Mercury and Capricorn in the 5th house, you have this natural ability to, again, communicate, right? Communicate well, with structure, with discipline, with creativity. So I do think that you can monetize skills, again, in like storytelling, right? Like strategic storytelling. I think for some of you here, it's going to be like writing, content creation, maybe even script writing for some of you. I feel like there's a select some of you who may be interested in like filmmaking. So I think script writing could be a high value skill that you could bring to the table here. I also feel like, again, business oriented creativity, right? Branding, marketing, copywriting. I also feel like this brings up teaching or coaching again, especially in very structured, practical fields, right? Like finance or real estate or creative business or productivity, right? There's so many different things here. Some of you here too, I wonder if you would be interested in like game design or like structured play, right? So like board games, educational tools, business simulations, maybe even gaming too. Like I feel like there's some of you here who might be like really good with like gaming and streaming, and you might be able to like gain some traction there. And then again, I do feel like this confirms public speaking, consulting, right? Maybe on strategy or leadership or creative industries. I think that you have this really cool talent, Pile One, where you can blend seriousness with play. So I really do think that this makes you great at turning hobbies into structured, profitable ventures. So yes, thank you so much, Pile One. I hope that this was fun. Please give this video a like if it resonates. Please comment below with what pile you chose. I love to chat with you all in the comments. Let me know any other insights that came through. I love to see what all of your intuition picks up. It's so cool that we have this cool community to connect. I'm just so grateful to have spiritual besties like you. So please take care of yourself. I hope to see you on the next video after this. If you feel called, check out my channel, Tidal Tarot. I've got a bunch of other videos for you to explore. Again, if you feel called to check out my podcast or my online shop, I have that linked for you in the description. And I will see you on the next video. Bye, friends. Hey, Pile 2. Hey, friends. Let's dive into your reading all about what unique skills you have that you can monetize. So the first card that we have here is the King of Cups. And the King of Cups here can represent things like having emotional intelligence, mastery over your emotions, being a wise leader, and having this ability to provide guidance with compassion. We also have the Administrator here. This one says Saturn. And it says, I walk with a foot in both the earthly and spiritual worlds. And there are a bunch of descriptors down here which I think are your unique or natural talents, Pile 2. So Pile 2, you are practical, grounded, persevering, wise, dedicated, strong, purposeful, leading, organized, structured, confident, strategic, assertive, disciplined, humanistic, and moral. I wonder for some of you here, if you would be like great coaches or teachers of like emotional mastery, right? So maybe even a therapist too, like helping people manage stress or anxiety or emotional overwhelm, right? Through having these structured techniques. I wonder for some of you here, because I feel like this is my pile of like high achievers. And so I wonder if some of you here would be a really good guide to help other high achievers master their emotions, right? Mastering that emotional balance. Yeah. I also feel like you'd be really good at like leadership training or consulting. So maybe some of you here would be really great at either like teaching executives or professionals how to lead with emotional intelligence, right? How to lead with structure. So whether this looks like corporate workshops or online courses or one-on-one coaching, right? It can look like so many different things. I also feel like you would be really good at like conflict resolution, right? So like businesses, HR departments, maybe even families need guidance in handling conflict, right? So maybe you could become somebody who guides others through conflict resolution. I just feel like you would be someone who's really good at teaching other people effective communication or maybe even like de-escalation strategies. I also feel like because you have this ability to guide others emotionally, you could be somebody who's very like therapeutic. So again, maybe like counseling, therapy, psychiatry, something, or I don't know, even people like maybe if you don't want to be that type of professional, I wonder if you could even like create some sort of like therapeutic writing or journaling program, right? Like creating some sort of journaling course on self-reflection and having a guidebook to help people process their emotions, right? Because sometimes it can be tough to like share our most vulnerable or intimate things with a stranger, even if they are a professional. And so, you know, maybe sometimes the first step for some people is kind of like self-reflection, a private journal, something that they feel like they can keep close to the heart, yet, you know, work through whatever they're going through on an emotional level. So yeah, let's keep talking about things. In terms of how your gift can be monetized, we have the 9 of Wands in reverse. So I think this means like you helping people overcome burnout. This could mean you helping people overcome exhaustion or like mental blocks. You would be really great at assisting people who feel stuck, or I feel like you would be really good at helping people overcome burnout or exhaustion or mental blocks, right? Maybe you could help people who feel stuck or drained, or, you know, people who are struggling to push forward in their careers, maybe even in their personal lives as well. We also have Wise One, and this one says grow within your current situation. Just especially this owl here, I feel like Oh my gosh, and this crow, you are actually like extremely intuitive, psychic even, right? So very wise, intuitive, wise beyond your years is what I'm hearing. Again, this is confirming that like King of Cups, that ability to be a leader, a wise leader. For some of you, rather than starting from scratch, I think that this card talks about like leveraging what you already know and kind of like refining that into a sellable skill. So maybe, okay, here are a couple examples. Remember, this list is not exhaustive. If you don't hear something on this list that like you feel really drawn to, don't discount that, right? Follow your heart. But I just like to give out a bunch of fun examples for you to play around with. I love that we have this creative space and this creative community. So, okay, with this, I'm thinking maybe for some of you, you want to be like a burnout recovery coach, right? Maybe you're going to be coaching corporate professionals or entrepreneurs or caregivers who feel emotionally and physically drained. I wonder for some of you here too, maybe even creating some sort of like time and energy management course, right? So maybe some of you here want to develop an online course on how to structure your life for maximum productivity without burnout, right? You could sell this as like a digital product or a membership-based training. There's so many different options here. You could even just go and do corporate trainings and give talks, right? Yeah, so like speaking, right? Workshops, maybe workshops on work-life balance. I wonder for some of you here, you might have fun with like creating webinars, corporate training, or any sort of like keynote speeches on resilience or self-care or work-life harmony. I think that for some of you here, maybe even creating like a guided meditation or some sort of mindfulness practice. Maybe some of you here could record and sell guided meditations that are tailored for burnout recovery or emotional resilience or leadership mindset shifts, right? Now I want to dive into what industry or niche potentially fits you. I always like to make this disclaimer that this is not by any means me saying you should pigeonhole yourself or not allow yourself to be multifaceted. If you are interested in more than one niche, don't hold yourself back, but this is just a bunch of fun examples to play around with. So we have the magician here. With this, I feel like this is like mastery of like multiple skills, right? This is being adaptable. It can talk about communication, about being resourceful. So I feel like entrepreneurship or coaching or public speaking or content creation are some pretty strong fits for you. We also have rainbow blessings, and this one says blessings are showering your life. So I really do feel like you are meant to work in a field that brings transformation and personal growth and empowerment to others. Maybe some of you here would be really good at like being in an industry that's related to self-improvement or business strategy or spirituality or healing. Some of you here are going to be writing books. Just wanted to make that note out there. So yeah, I feel like some ideal industries for you pile to, again, coaching, consulting, right? Leadership, emotional intelligence, working on those types of things. Resilience coaching, right? So maybe you build a brand helping professionals thrive both strategically and emotionally. Or for those of you who are interested in content creation, right? Maybe creating a YouTube channel or a podcast or a blog on emotional mastery or leadership. And it can be on anything that you want to, right? So whatever you're interested in. I just feel like you have insights and you can share this through storytelling and interviews and teaching, right? Shameless plug here, but for those of you who are interested in a personal development and spirituality podcast, I do have a podcast called the That's Deep Podcast, and I talk about self-development tools that you can use to help leverage your success and satisfaction in your career, in your personal life, your relationships, love, business, finances, all of that kind of stuff. I talk about the easy way to understand your birth chart, all of the things, Myers-Briggs personality types. I just had a bunch of episodes on human design. So if you feel called, I have it linked for you in the description, or if you just want to Google it, it's That's Deep Podcast by Naomi, and it is on all podcast platforms out there. So yes. And for those of you who want to start a podcast, maybe that'll like spark some inspiration on like, hey, I could totally do this too. So yeah. guys, if I can do it, you can do it, I promise. For those of you who are more drawn to holistic healing or spiritual guidance, right? Maybe some of you want to integrate like tarot or astrology or Reiki or some sort of like energy healing into your work, right? Maybe for some of you here who are interested in writing, right? Again, so like I mentioned earlier, some of you here are going to be writing books, maybe ebooks, maybe workbooks. Again, I'm getting that like corporate training and those workshops, right? So some of you here would be, again, just amazing at offering training programs, maybe again on emotional resilience or team leadership or stress management to high net worth individuals, businesses, whatever it is, right? So next I want to talk about advice or next steps. The first card that we have here is the 10 of Cups in reverse. And with this, I wonder if some of you are feeling like your dream career or your ideal lifestyle isn't fully in alignment yet, right? I don't know if like there's any unresolved emotional doubts or like fear of failure or societal expectations that you feel like are clouding your vision. We also have the Conduit here. And so just know, Pile 2, you are meant to channel knowledge, right? You are meant to channel wisdom and to structure that into something practical, right? You know how to take these abstract ideas and make them actionable. So what are some next steps that you can take, Pile 2? What are some actionable steps that you can take action on, right? What are some actionable steps that you can take action on? Right on. One thing I would say is maybe clarify what sort of offer you might want to like create, right? Or I don't know. I remember when someone was like, clarify what you want to offer, clarify what you want to monetize. I was like, offer? I don't know, right? But more so like, because I just feel like coming from a creative brain, you're like, offer. But really clarify or decide on what you want to focus on, right? Do you want to focus on content creation? Do you want to focus on coaching? Do you want to focus on consulting? Do you want to focus on running a startup? What it is, what do you want to create, right? Do you want to create a structured course? Do you want to start a YouTube channel? Do you want to focus on one-on-one coaching, right? Just get clear on what it is that you actually want to do and trust your emotions, right? Trust your gut feeling, trust that intuition. Know that you have all the resources and everything within you to create these blessings for you. For those of you who have families that you're trying to create abundance for or to support, know that this is absolutely possible. Maybe this is also a sign for you to like test and validate your ideas, right? So maybe for some of you here, you run a free webinar or a free consultation or a free mini course to kind of gauge some interest and to like refine your approach before you launch fully. Maybe some of you here want to focus on creating some sort of like signature system, right? So develop some sort of like really clear framework or methodology that makes your services unique, right? So for example, we're talking about emotional mastery earlier. Maybe your system is the emotional mastery blueprint, right? 4 steps to resilience and leadership or whatever it is, right? Some of you here too, I feel like it could be beneficial to create an online presence if that's something that you want to do, right? Use Instagram or LinkedIn or some sort of personal website to position yourself as an expert in whatever it is that you want to do, right? Leadership, resilience, personal growth, emotional mastery, whatever it is, right? I think that with all of these cards here, just start small and then expand, right? So start with one thing and then expand, right? Then do the next thing, then keep transitioning. I think that your abundance and your finances and these blessings are going to evolve and show up for you in these miraculous ways, and you're just going to be blown away, Pile 2. So I'm really excited for you. Take a chance on yourself, trust yourself. Remember that, you know, your gifts lie in your gifts are your wisdom. Your gift is just being you, right? You are excellent at helping others find this emotional balance and resilience. So no matter what you decide to do in terms of career, just know that your approach and your unique approach is going to be something that really does help people thrive in both their personal and their professional lives. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what you create, Pile 2. The next thing I want to do here is I would like to roll some number dice to see what sort of angel numbers we have for you. What additional messages do we have? We have 5 and 18. We also have 518 and then 185. So we'll get messages for all of those. This is the Angel Numbers book by Mystic Michaela. I'll have it linked for you in the description. What else does pile 2 need to know? Ooh, growth, just like pile 1. Okay, so growth. The only thing that stays the same is change. As the world around you shifts and moves, it's time to get flexible. Change is inevitable, and your peace comes not from the stability of things outside you, but also from that which is created from your foundation within. Your angels remind you to make inner peace a priority, so you know when a change comes, you know that you're tethered to something it cannot touch. Meditate today with a visualization of your inner peace tying you firmly to the universe. Yeah, it can be very easy to feel like we're knocked off kilter, or to feel like a little bit of like instability when you're going through change or transformation or growth. So I think that this is a sign for you to do the things that make you feel rooted, the things that make you feel grounded. So whether that's going for a walk, reminding yourself to just take a deep breath every once in a while. I think I could use one if you guys want to take one with me. Ready? In through the nose. Hold at the top. Hold at the top. And exhale. And there you guys go. You just meditated, right? Meditation is just simply taking one deep breath. So one deep breath, one rep, right? Keep going, one step at a time. Stay grounded, stay rooted. We also have the number 18. So this one is wish. Manifest your desires. It's brave to want something, and your angels are asking you to be very brave. Make a wish and let it out into the universe, knowing it will come back to you in divine timing. Write down a wish and set it out where the wind can carry it away from you. As it flies away, you will know your angels have it now. Wow. What is it that you truly want to manifest for your life, pile 2? What is it that you truly desire? I feel like this message talks about like letting yourself want what you want, not going based on what other people want for you or what society has told you. It's about trusting in your own desires, right? So for example, if you want to create financial stability and abundance for you and your family and your children, then allow yourself to want that, no matter what anybody else says, right? Or if you want to be a stay-at-home parent to your young children, then allow yourself to want that. This is your journey. This is your life. The only person that has to live your life is you. So the best thing to do is to trust your own judgment and your own guidance, right? What have you been wishing for? You can totally manifest it, okay? We also have 518. Okay, so this one says healthy change. You need to alter your lifestyle. There is something in your life presently that isn't helping your body and mind. Your angels want you to focus on the wellness of your whole self, not just your spirit. They call on you to take care of an issue you've let go on too long. What is the body or mind health action that you have been needing to take? Make the time to confront this issue today. Pile 2, only you would know what it is exactly that, what sort of healthy change you would need to make, or like what lifestyle alteration you might need to make to just get in more alignment with your higher self, your more evolved self, where you're going, right? The self that you want to manifest. So yeah, what needs to change, right? There's always room for improvement, for sure, in all of us, right? And it can be hard. It can be tough to confront some of these issues head on. So give yourself grace. Of course, reach out to the proper support, right? If you feel like you need some support in facing these changes, you don't have to do it alone. That's always like something that I have to remind myself of too. Yeah, okay, and then let's do 185. Okay, so 185. Okay, so this one says positive change. You create your world. The challenge now is to take what has happened to you and create something positive. You are creating your reality by demonstrating to the universe how you react to the changes that inevitably occur. Repeat this mantra: I activate positive change. Wow. Yep, you are the architect of your world. You can manifest whatever it is that you want. I also think that positive change is coming. Blessings are about to enter your life. You are the conduit for more resources, right? So, yes. And then let's also roll some astro dice. So what else do we need to know for pile 2 about their unique skills, talents, and natural abilities? How can they monetize this gift? We have, we have Mars in Pisces in the 11th house. So I feel like this confirms a lot of what we spoke about earlier. I think that with Mars and Pisces in the 11th house, you can naturally monetize the skills that you have that are related to things like spiritual and creative leadership, right? So I think that you would be really great at guiding communities in anything artistic, creative, spiritual, right? Healing pursuits. I also feel like using like intuitive strategy, right? So like using intuition to navigate group dynamics or trends or, you know, some sort of like creative, innovative project. I think that you using that intuition is something that's going to be very, very powerful here. I also feel like advocacy or like nonprofit work or maybe something to do with like humanitarian efforts, right? Anything that's driven by deep empathy could be something that, you know, many of you here would thrive in. I also feel like some of you here would do great with esoteric or healing arts, right? So like astrology or tarot, right? Or energy work or some sort of creative therapy in group settings, right? There's so many things you can do here with that wisdom and that creativity and that intuitive nature that you have. I also feel like maybe dream work or storytelling, right? So almost like monetizing your imagination. I know that sounds kind of interesting, but like monetizing, I just saw purple too, which is like a very spiritual color, but that's also crown chakra. So like those divine ideas, again, you're a conduit, right? You're a conduit for those divine ideas. Yeah, that was really cool. But cool, sorry. And I saw that purple when I was talking about dream work or storytelling. So that could be a confirmation for some of you. Yeah. Writing, filmmaking, vision-based coaching, those things. Some of you here, again, very, very, very psychic, very intuitive. Many of you here have, claircognizance, clairaudience, and then that clairvoyance is strong for this pile too. If you feel like sharing, like for some of you like who have other strong clairs or spiritual, right, psychic senses, drop them in the comments. I'm always curious about what other people in terms of like clairs, what are they working with the most? I would say for me, mine's probably primarily claircognizance and then clairvoyance. So yeah. It's been interesting though, after I had kids, clairgustance has been a thing, right? So like clear smelling. And then also, what was the other one that was interesting? Oh, clairaudience, but that has been, since I was a little kid, I just used to get really scared and want to like turn it off, but clairaudience as well. P.S. I just love this community. I love that these are things that we can talk about, right? Because sometimes like out in like the regular world, it can be tough to like know who you can talk to about like these types of things. So I'm always super grateful and just feel absolutely honored and blessed to be, spiritual besties with y'all here in this community. So yes. But yeah, back to Mars and Pisces in the 11th house. I also think that you'd be great with networking, visionary collaboration, bringing some sort of group of unique people together for meaningful artistic or, mystical projects, right? So I think that you would thrive in any sort of role that's like fluid, visionary, and service oriented. So yeah, and within a collective setting, because you're meant to help the collective. We have the 11th house here. It's all about the collective. So yes. So cool, pile 2. I had a great time with your reading. I hope you had fun too. Please give this video a like if it resonates. Comment below with whatever came up for you or whatever pile you chose. I love to connect with you all in the comments. Take care of yourself. If you feel called to check out my personal development and spirituality podcast, check that out in the description of this video. It's linked for you. I also have an online shop if you feel like exploring my crystal and lifestyle shop. And yeah, if you feel called check out my channel, Tidal Tarot. I've got a bunch of other readings and videos for you to check out and explore. And yeah, thank you, friends. Sending you lots of love. Love y'all. Bye, friends. Hey, Pile 3. Hey, friends. Welcome, welcome. Let's dive into what sort of unique gift or skill you can monetize. So we have the Emperor in reverse here. Quick disclaimer, Pile 3. I mentioned it in the other piles, but if you hear some kids playing in the background, those are my kids. And I told myself I would not apologize for them having fun and playing in the background. So yes, just to know. Okay, so what core unique gift or skill can you monetize, right? And there's so many different things here, but we have the Emperor in reverse. With this card typically symbolizes a challenge with authority or leadership, right? So it can also highlight an ability to recognize when existing systems are flawed or restrictive. So I think that Pile 3, you actually have this really cool ability to break free from traditional norms, right? And traditional structures, and you know how to bring innovation and transformation to existing systems. So I wonder if for some of you here, you want to establish your own structure or your own organization without the rigidity of, you know, traditional hierarchies, right? Traditional systems. I feel like you could monetize this gift by either creating a business or a platform that really like challenges the status quo, right? So one example is maybe you start a consulting firm that's focused on helping companies streamline like any sort of inefficient processes, or maybe you offer leadership coaching that focuses on flexible, adaptive leadership rather than rigid authority, right? So maybe you create some sort of platform that helps people or businesses with restructuring their organization in some way. So, right, like a real life example of this would be maybe being like some sort of startup consultant who specializes in breaking down bureaucracy, right, within large companies and helping them adapt to a more decentralized or creative or, you know, collaborative work culture. That's just one example. We also have the Honorable Warrior, and this is Mars energy. It says, I take a stand for positive change. Oh, okay, so this totally, you know, vibes with the last card that we were talking about. We have a bunch of descriptors down here, which I believe are your natural talents and abilities, Pile 3. So Pile 3, you are brave, courageous. My apologies for the sirens in the background. Pile 3, you are brave, courageous, strong, passionate, bold, hardworking, territorial, athletic, competitive, decisive, heroic, loyal, disciplined, and action-driven. So I feel like you have this really cool ability, Pile 3, to take bold action driven by honor and purpose. I feel like you have this natural inclination to fight for what's right, and you're somebody that's a very strong leader with that courage to make tough decisions. I really do think that you could work in industries that require maybe even like tough decision making, advocacy, guidance, right? I don't know why I thought about real estate, but real estate, law, finance, those types of things. I also feel like some of you here might want to work as like a motivational speaker, or maybe like a business strategist, or somebody who works with conflict resolution. I feel like you have this sense of purpose and this sense of integrity that can also lead you to create a business that helps other people take bold action or to face challenges, right? So maybe for some of you here, you want to be a leadership coach who specializes in helping entrepreneurs or managers take bold, decisive actions to achieve their business goals while also staying true to their own values. Yep. In terms of how this gift can be monetized, right? We have the Knight of Cups in reverse. So this can talk about like a gift for emotional intelligence, but it can also talk about being out of touch with your own emotions, right? Or having this like inability to express them fully. So I wonder if some of you here doubt your ability, right? Because you really do have this ability to guide other people through emotional turmoil, but I don't know, it's also important to like refine that skill, right? To ensure that you're grounded and you're offering clear emotional support. I think that when I'm looking at this card, the Knight of Cups, like the love is like just like freely pouring out, or like all of the energy, all of the emotions, all of the, right? Like it's what am I trying to say here? You have to have your cup filled too. Like you cannot give from an empty cup. And if your cup is always tipped over, like, and pouring into others, and there's none left for yourself, it could be hard to survive, and then it could be hard to like show up for others. So yeah, just make sure that your cup is filled too. I think that for those of you here who are interested in having a career as like a life coach or a therapist or a counselor, this could be a natural fit. Specifically, you know, emotional coaching or helping people process and manage their emotions. I also feel like maybe you want to offer workshops or like content, right? Like books, blogs, videos on YouTube, maybe podcast episodes on learning more about emotional intelligence and helping other people navigate the emotional side of their lives and their relationships and their careers. So a real life example here could be like a coach who helps professionals or, you know, people heal from burnout by teaching them to balance emotions or to manage stress, or maybe even to cultivate and create a more mindful lifestyle. We also have Peacekeeper. This one says, let go of the need to be right. I feel like you have an ability to navigate disputes and find common ground between opposing forces. So I do think that you have this very diplomatic skill set, right, that allows you to mediate naturally and mediate with ease. So I feel like you could monetize this gift by either working in mediation, right, arbitration, conflict resolution. I wonder if some of you here, because of that like tenacity, I wonder if some of you here would be really good lawyers, right? Really good attorneys. I wonder if for some of you here, you might also be really good in PR or like customer service consulting, actually, right? Where your ability to like navigate conflict and maintain that harmony is highly valuable, right? For some of you here who want to do course creation and be a, you know, like a digital entrepreneur, maybe you offer courses or workshops in conflict management, right? I think that could be another profitable venture that could feel like passive income down the road. I'm not saying do it down the road. I'm just saying like it takes time. Sometimes it can take time to build up that passive income, but you never know. You could just be firing off from day one. But yeah, I wonder if for some of you here, you might want to be like a mediator who specializes in resolving like workplace conflicts, right? So maybe some of you want to work in HR, right? Like helping companies create more positive collaborative environments. In terms of like what industry or niche could potentially fit you, and now I like to make this disclaimer, do not pigeonhole yourself, right? If you're multifaceted, multi-creative, and you have multiple passions, do not pigeonhole yourself. Allow yourself to want what you want, but this is just all for fun. This is just to give you some examples, and just to have fun and play with it. What industry or niche might potentially be a good fit? We have the Knight of Pentacles here. So this card embodies the energy of being steadfast. It's, you know, responsibility. It's having focus on a long-term goal. So I do think that you have this strong ability to be diligent and methodical and very committed to the process, right? Pile 3, you are somebody who follows through with tasks and you pay attention to detail. So I think that in terms of monetization, your skill set would definitely thrive in industries like, again, project management, operations, finance, right? Places where attention to detail and long-term commitment are crucial. That's just one example, by the way, Pile 3. But for those of you who are interested in that, you could work as maybe like a consultant or a project manager in some sort of industry that requires like maybe some sort of service related to either strategic planning or financial advising, or, you know, optimizing somebody's process, right? So one example is you're a project manager who maybe oversees the execution of some pretty large scale projects, right? Maybe you are the one who ensures everything runs smoothly, right? And on time. We also have Uncovering Treasure. This one says, beneath the surface lies great bounty. Pile 3, you have a knack for digging deep and uncovering hidden opportunities or finding value in overlooked areas. So I feel like this gift can manifest in industries that require research, investigation, even discovery. So a real life example here could be like a career in research, right? A career in market analysis. Some of you here, I'm also hearing archaeology. I know it's very specific, but I've got to say what's coming through. So even like, I wonder if like even like, right, like treasure hunting or like antiques, working in the antiques business. Maybe you find success in uncovering business opportunities that others miss, right? Or discovering untapped potential in overlooked industries. So yeah, I wonder if like you would be great either consulting on market trends or starting some sort of research-based company. Maybe running a blog or a YouTube channel that is focused on uncovering hidden opportunities, or doing something that's a bit investigative, right? Or something to do with like streamlining operations in some way. But in terms of like, okay, so pile 3, advice and next steps, right? We have the King of Wands in reverse. So I do think that this is my pile that has a very visionary approach. And I'm wondering if there's any of you out there who maybe have a hard time with either like focus or executing your ideas effectively, right? Like maybe there's a need to cultivate a more grounded leadership style. So maybe for some of you here, right, this is probably not all of you, but maybe for some of you here, you feel prone to like having these grand ideas, but maybe it's tough for you to bring them to fruition without the right structure in place, right? So maybe this manifests in a project that stalls because burnout, right? From spreading yourself too thin, or like a lack of follow through, you got really busy, right? But in terms of next steps, it would be to just like focus on finding ways to channel that creative and that visionary energy into something more tangible, right? So maybe you start small by setting clear goals and surrounding yourself with people who can help you stay accountable. So, you know, maybe you consider mentorship or you consider coaching to refine your leadership style. We also have the orchestrator here. And with this one, pile 3, I feel like you have a gift for managing many different moving parts, right? Maybe even bringing different elements together harmoniously. I do think that you have a talent for overseeing complex projects or systems. I do think that you have a knack for making sure that everything runs smoothly. So yeah, again, I don't know if some of you are interested in project management, being an event coordinator, being a producer, or maybe even being in a role where you bring diverse teams together, right? Bringing people together to achieve a common goal. I think that you have a cool ability to manage multiple tasks, manage multiple people. You're very grounded, right? You know that timelines can make you, it can make you very valuable in an industry that requires a lot of coordination, right? So I think that the next steps here would be to refine your organizational skills, right? So like consider roles that might require a high level of coordination, maybe look for opportunities to lead large projects or teams, or even create your own business that, you know, manages or organizes events or teams or content creation or whatever it is, right? But by combining these skills and these gifts, you can actually carve out a niche in consulting or leadership coaching or conflict resolution, right? Or creative arts, or so many different fields. I just feel like the first step is to begin refining your skills and looking for opportunities where you can begin applying these unique talents that you have, you know, in ways that can actually bring you some financial gain. So the next thing I want to do here is I want to roll some number dice, get more information. So we have 15. So 15, 15, 15, right? Okay. So new ideas, level up your thoughts. Inspiration is the way your angels are directing you onto your inspired path. The ideas you get are important as they lead you to the next step. Repeat this mantra. I am open to receiving inspiration. Wow. I am open to receiving inspiration. What inspires you, pile 3? Right? What makes you want to level up? Maybe take notice of all the guidance that you receive from the universe, from your angels, from your higher self, whatever it is that resonates, right? From God, whatever system resonates with you. We have space for everybody's unique needs and differences here. We're all a bunch of eclectic spiritual besties out here. So let's get more information on pile 3's unique skills and their abilities and what they can monetize. we have the North Node in Pisces in the 3rd house. So with this pile 3, I feel like, okay, first of all, you have this really cool ability to, I guess, intuitively communicate, right? So I think that you actually are really good at channeling messages through either writing or speaking or teaching in a poetic or a imaginative or a spiritual way. I also think that you would be really great with storytelling and creativity. So like maybe you'd be great with crafting some sort of compelling narrative, or, you know, whether this is in books or podcast or visual media in some way. I also feel like you would be really great at providing others with spiritual guidance, right? Using your intuition for tarot or astrology or dream interpretation. Healing words is coming up too, because 3rd house is all about communication. So I wonder if for some of you, you would be great at either providing emotional or mental healing through counseling or coaching or guided meditations. This also represents artistic expression to me. So I think that you can monetize your creative ideas, right? Through, again, poetry, music, visual art, whatever it is that involves fluid, intuitive, compassionate communication, that is your sweet spot. So I hope that that was so much fun, pile 3. Please give this video a like if it resonates. Please comment below with what came up for you. I love to chat with you all in the comments. I love this community. Love that we're all spiritual besties here. Subscribe if you feel called. Thank you. Take care of yourself. Check out my channel, Tidal Tarot. I've got a bunch of other videos for you to check out. If you feel called to check out my personal development and spirituality podcast or my online shop, I have a bunch of crystals and lifestyle things in there. So I have those both linked for you in the description, and I'm excited to see you on the next video. Bye friends, love y'all, take care. Hey friends, hey pile 4, welcome to your reading. Let's talk about what unique gifts or skills or talents that you have that come naturally to you that you can monetize. So the first card that we have here is the 3 of Cups. And the 3 of Cups represents things like community, it represents things like collaboration, you know, things like, it can also represent celebration. So I do think that you have gifts and talents around bringing people together, right? Fostering meaningful connections and creating joyful experiences. We also have the organizer, and we have Saturn energy here. It says everything has its rightful place. And there are a bunch of different descriptors in the bottom of this card. I feel like these are your natural traits or your natural qualities or abilities or talents. So pile 4, you are patient, practical, truthful, committed, steadfast, orderly, reliable, considerate, consistent, disciplined, systematic, intellectual, careful, detailed, discerning, and rational. So with this, I feel like it adds, especially with like Saturn energy, right? It adds structure and discipline and efficiency to this gift that you have. So I do think that you have this natural ability to create order within like social or creative endeavors. And I think that you know how to make sure everything runs smoothly. So some real life examples of this could be like community building or event planning or, you know, organizing networking events or retreats, you know, mastermind groups, creative workshops. Another thing that pops up here too is social media management, right? Like building and managing online communities, right? Facebook groups, Discord, Patreon communities with structured engagement. Now, I also feel like some of you here would really do well with business operations in terms of like being a business operations manager, right? So maybe you have a natural talent in streamlining workflows for small businesses or for corporations, right? Especially for those who are focused on like creative or social enterprises. Now, in terms of how your gift can be monetized, we have the Hanged Man here in reverse. And so this can represent a shift in perspective, right? And the need to stop waiting. So it's time to take action, right? It's time to monetize your gifts. There's no more, right? Don't delay. We also have the High Priestess here, and this one says harness mystic power. So I feel like you have this deep intuition, right? You might even have this like hidden knowledge or this expertise that other people may not have access to. And I feel like you can leverage both that insight and that strategic mind that you have to guide others in really powerful ways. So, you know, for maybe some of you here, you want to do spiritual business coaching, right? So maybe you help other intuitive entrepreneurs to structure their business in a way that both balances their gifts with practical strategy, right? So like maybe for some of you here, you want to do exclusive memberships or mastermind groups, right? Like paid communities where you can offer guidance or accountability or some sort of structured learning. I also feel like intuitive consulting could be good, right? So like offering some sort of strategic insight based on like business or career or personal growth. And I think that by you combining that logical side of you with that intuitive wisdom, it's just going to be chef's kiss. Like it's going to be magical. It's going to be powerful. So, you know, what industry or niche would potentially feel like a good fit for you, Pal 4? I like to make this disclaimer that for all of you out there who are multi-passionate or multifaceted, this is a reminder to not, you know, put yourself in a box or to pigeonhole yourself. Stay multi-creative, stay multi-passionate. But I just like to give some examples. So examples where you can play with and have fun with it. So yes. So what industry or niche would potentially be a good fit for you? We have the 8 of Swords in reverse here. So this represents being liberated and freed up from like self-doubt, right? This is stepping into empowerment. And this is helping others break free from their own limitations. We also have crossing bridges. This one says it's time for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. I feel like crossing bridges reinforces the theme of transition and healing and guiding people through transformative periods. I think in terms of like industries or niches, healing and transformation coaching, right? Like assisting people through career transitions or breakups or, you know, personal reinvention. I also think that you would be great with bridging strategy and creativity. So maybe some of you here want to help other creatives, you know, artists, writers, healers, whatever that looks like, right? Maybe you want to help these people organize and structure their ideas into monetizable offerings, right? I also wonder if some of you here might be really good at like trauma-informed business mentorship. So creating safe spaces for entrepreneurs to heal their relationship with money and success and self-worth. So in terms of advice or next steps for you, Pal 4, we have the 6 of Pentacles in reverse. So this can talk about an imbalance in giving and receiving. So I don't know if some of you here feel like you're overgiving without charging enough, or if you're struggling with pricing. We also have mend the flow. So again, I think that this suggests like restructuring your financial flow, maybe restructuring your business model to be more sustainable, right? So that you have that equal energy exchange too. So I think some of your next steps to monetize successfully could be to, number 1, charge. I like hesitate to say charge for your worth, because like we are worth so much more than any dollar amount, but I mean like think about what skills are actually truly valuable and start to, I guess what I'm trying to say is like avoid underpricing your services, right? Or over delivering for free. I think that you are allowed to go ahead and create premium offerings that reflect that expertise that you have within you, Pal 4. I also think that another really big thing here is to balance giving and receiving, right? So if you make free content, make sure that it leads to some sort of paid offer, right? And sometimes we just want to share and, you know, create freely. But for example, you could do like a free workshop that leads to a paid mentorship, right? Or you have a YouTube channel where you know, create content essentially for free, but then maybe you get monetized through YouTube AdSense and you get sponsorships and you have a e-commerce store that people purchase things from, right? So there are ways for you to set things up so that you can get paid. I also feel like it would be great for some of you here to create passive income streams. So whether this is through like digital courses, memberships, right, ebooks, some sort of like automated workshop that can generate income without you trading more time for your money, you know, especially for those of you who are super busy. I also think that this would be great for you to like leverage your network. So I think that your ability to connect people means that you can monetize things like referrals and partnerships and collaborations. I just feel like your gift is in like bridging intuition with structure, right? Creating communities, guiding transformation within others and within yourself too. So I think that the main thing to remember here is just to ensure that you're balanced, make sure that things are sustainable, make sure that you are charging for something that reflects your value, and maybe you want to focus on, you know, offering something that is a little bit more premium, right? Or making strategic connections, or healing, or focusing on like a healing oriented service for long-term success. So yes, I want to roll some number dice to get more information for you. Okay, so we have 18, and we had 18 and 6 is what I saw. So we have 186 and then 618, but we can break down 6 and 18 first. So this comes from, or this is the Angel Numbers book by Mystic Michaela. I'll have it linked for you in the description if you feel called. But we have, let's see, okay, material world. Only love lasts eternally. You are paying too much attention to the superficial. Oftentimes you can forget the depth of what you are doing in life by focusing on what the material world's distractions. Your angels guide you to focus on the intangibles you have in your life. Love, friendship, character qualities of self, and to give them a moment of appreciation. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, I was kind of feeling that too. Like as we're talking about like charging and money and all this stuff, I'm also thinking too, like you have like certain things within you that are just, you can't even put like a price tag on, right? So maybe it's a sign to like focus in on what you're grateful for, whether that's family, love, friendship, those things, you know? We also have 18. 18 says wish. Manifest your desires. It's brave to want something, and your angels are asking you to be very brave. Make a wish and let it out into the universe, knowing it will come back to you in divine timing. Write down a wish and set it where the wind will carry it away from you. As it flies away, you will know your angels have it now. Wow. So this is a call again to like manifest whatever it is that you've been truly wishing for, whatever it is that you've truly been desiring. We also have 618. Okay, so this one says self-love. You often put others first, but may also tend to dismiss your own needs. Your angels ask you to practice self-love today. Allow yourself space and time to do something that makes you feel nurtured and appreciated. Watch a movie, make a special meal, or treat yourself to a little special something you've been wanting. Take care of you. Wow. When you take care of yourself, it allows you to help others. Because I just feel like this pile is very like community service oriented. So just know that it's important for you to fill your cup as well. And then we also have 186. Okay. Trust yourself. Okay. Speak clearly and confidently. When expressing yourself, your angels want you to trust your instincts and not what others may want to hear from you. Your ability to pick up on what they need is clouding your own voice. Lie down with your hands on your throat chakra. Repeat this mantra. My voice is strong. Speak clearly and confidently. I love that. Beautiful. Okay, the next thing I want to do here is I would love to roll some astro dice for you. Let's find out more info on pile 4's unique skills and abilities. Okay, so we have North Node in Taurus in the 4th house. Okay, so with North Node in Taurus in the 4th house, pile 4, I feel like you naturally excel at creating stability and security, right? So maybe for some of you here, you might be interested in real estate or home design or financial planning. Another thing here is you have this nurturing and grounding energy. So, you know, wellness coaching, home organization, things like holistic healing, right? I also feel like this is my pile that may have like a sensory or material appreciation. So things like cooking, gardening, crafting luxury or, you know, home goods. Also like building long-term wealth, right? So maybe like property investments, sustainable businesses, or family wealth management. I just feel like these are the skills that align that align with the focus on, with Taurus's focus on value, and the fourth house's connection to things like home and roots and emotional security. So thank you so much, pile 4. I hope that that was super fun. Please give this video a like if it resonates. Comment below with what came up for you, what pile you chose. I'd love to connect with you all in the comments. I am so grateful for all of you. You guys are truly my spiritual besties, so I appreciate you all. Subscribe if you haven't already, and if you feel called, check out my channel, Tidal Tarot. I've got a bunch of other pick a card readings for you to explore. If you do feel called to check out my online shop or my personal development and spirituality podcast, I also have that linked for you in the description. And yeah, love y'all, friends. I will see you later. Bye. Take care.